7:09, and I think what's happened is we've kind of gone into our meeting, which is fine because these are topics that are, things that come up, and it's always good to inform everybody who may not have already, who's new to us or has some new information to share and some concerns to share. If I can, though, I see that the mayor has entered the room, and we'll get to her in just a moment. Sarah Parr has her hand up, I don't see her.
Elvis
Sarah,
is in the room.
she's in the room. At least her name is in the room. Sarah, hun, Miss
Hi, guys.
Malega.
Hi, guys. How are you?
This is Commissioner Sarah Malega, former president, by the way, of the Royal Poinciana neighborhood. If you're not aware, Sarah was I think the second right after Anna Maria to be president for a few years. Did a great job there. She's now the new commissioner of District 1. Welcome,
Thank
Sarah.
you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I just wanted to ask, I'm getting a lot of reverb from everybody else's phones. If everybody can put their things on mute. I was trying to listen to Mr. TV, but some of it got cut off.
Okay.
Thank you for always inviting me, Marshall, and I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say.
Yeah. In fact, actually, I should say for next month's meeting, we do have Sarah as our guest speaker.
That is correct.
We want to start off with the mayor this month, and we'll have Sarah, and followed by the other commissioners. And like I said earlier, Herman is our monthly updater. We love him to death. So Herman is always here to give us the commission as our commission liaison. Let us know what's going on and take things back to the commission. So I wanted to, so for those that weren't here, just remind you all, the dues are being updated, and in the chat is the address where you can send your dues, $10 individual, 15 for families or household, 25 for businesses. And you could drop off cash or check at Courtney, our secretary's house. So I wanted to thank you all for coming. And let's see, there is for PBSO, there has been a request by Joe and Gus. Gus is the owner of the Birthday Cake House, and Joe owns the house under renovation at 5th and Palmway. He'd like to have a neighborhood watch. We do have the signs we put up a couple years ago. He's looking for interested folks that have access to golf carts or have golf carts themselves to create their own patrol around the neighborhood. If you're interested, you can email us as well at the Bryant Park Neighborhood News at Gmail. I should also remind everybody, though, that PBSO is looking for volunteers. They do have the COPS program, the Community on Patrol program. It's a very short, I think it's like 40 hours. Part is website and part is, for now anyway, virtual through Zoom or whatever. Then you will have access to a vehicle that you can take home, leave in your driveway. You're only required to do work for, I believe it's 2 or 2.5 hours a week, but you can certainly do more than that. And it's a simple application process and naturally a background check. That's it. But you can contact PBSO directly for that if you're interested, or certainly email us and we'll help coordinate. The Unity Wall down by Wingfield has been going up, and if you haven't had a chance to see that, go down Dixie, hang a right, or if you're going south, hang a right just over the train tracks, make a left, go down Wingfield, and you will see on your right for about, I think, 5 blocks along the right side. They've repaired it, and they've been putting up, I guess, close to 100 or more murals that are really quite beautiful by local artists and others. Yeah. If you want to get involved with that, the contact is Carla Blockson, Commissioner Carla Blockson, and I think that's it. Herman, do you know if there's anybody else in charge of that?
Yeah, I do. I'm part of the Unity Wall.
Sylvia, okay.
Carmel Chapman. I'll put it in the chat, her email.
Yes, Carmel.
I'm one of the artists.
Healthier Lake Worth. Oh, are you? Oh, wonderful. You guys doing a great job down there. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's Healthier Lake Worth that I was referring to earlier. That we'll be looking to do more grant work with. And also, this is the person, Giovanni. Giovanni's with the church at First and between over by Federal and Ocean Breeze. Giovanni, it's Healthier Lake Worth that's also going to be able to help you to know where we can really use the assistance.
Sounds great.
Okay. let's see, okay. I don't know if Jamie Brown is around tonight. He likes to pop in once in a while. Jamie, you here? Nope. Okay.
Yes, sir, I am.
Speak of the devil. How did I know that? Jamie, I just wanted to thank you on behalf of a lot of neighbors who have been contacting us. The sidewalk replacements and the work that you've been doing with the potholes, getting to them right away. A lot of happy people, a lot of appreciative people. Can you do us one favor though? Can you give me an update? I don't think I'd mentioned it in our newsletters, but we're going to have parts of First Avenue South redone, just not the block that's directly by the where the Gulf Stream will be working in the next year, because they'll do that all at once. Jamie, you were going to get have we got the funding in place to now move forward on that First Avenue South?
That's what we're currently in the process of doing right now. And if I had about another 3 days, I could probably give you an actual update. So I guess we'll have to wait till the next meeting. But I'll be able to do that by the time your next meeting rolls around.
Okay, and if you know something sooner, please just email us and we'll make sure we get it out.
Okay, absolutely. And as always, if anyone else has any public works related issues, whether it's roadway, potholes, trip hazards, sidewalk, or even garbage collection, recycling, just let me know.
Yeah. Okay, and also you've got I don't know if it's a sinkhole or a pot it's developing over by Federal and Federal and First, just a little bit east of Federal. That makes it when you're making the turn there, you kind of have to avoid it. But thank you again. Just want to thank you. Okay. I don't know is Ed Liberty around? Nope. Okay. An update as far as lighting goes. We had 3 lights put in over by Golfview across from the parking for the boat, the boat ramp there. So they did put up 3 lights 100 yards apart for the condos in that area on the west side of Golfview. He has requested, we went, Tabitha, our vice president, and I had gone around the neighborhood. We did look at a number of areas that we thought were great candidates for lighting, but the issue that we have is, as Ed brought up, is that in some neighborhoods, lights have gone up only to be an issue with the neighbors either directly in front of or nearby. They can adjust intensity, they can adjust with these shades, these over the lamp covers for some aspect of it. But some people just didn't want lights put up for various reasons. I can tell you that there's about a dozen other areas, especially going down Palm Way. They don't have lights in their midpoints on the blocks that are kind of dark. So we do have a list of places we're going to request from the city. However, we'd like to know, if there's going to be any neighbors that have an issue, we don't want you upset about that. So we can publish what we're going to put out there. And if you could get back to us, that would be very helpful. So the city doesn't run into, neighbor concerns. Other than that, let's see.
Hey, Marshall.
Yes, sir. Jamie.
I had one quick comment on that, even though Ed's not on today. I'm very familiar with the issue because I was involved the first time around.
Okay.
I can't express how important it is that we speak with the neighbors surrounding those locations that you guys are selecting, because what did happen in the past was, like you said, they went up, but then it was too bright for who was living there, or it was shining in their bedroom window. It kept them up. Right. So we weren't aware at the time that not everyone was on board with those specific locations. So it became kind of an exercise and and frustration.
Jamie, maybe if I can suggest this, if we provide you these addresses,
yes,
can the city send out a representative, or even yourself, you're good with it, but to knock on some of those doors and ask those folks, let them know that. Could you do that for us? That would be terrific. All right.
Absolutely.
In that case, all right. So we will get you.
Marshall, I have a question though. Isn't there some sort of a professional analysis of the areas that need to have light? While sure, it might be annoying, but you can get a room darkening shade at Home Depot for less than $20, and people move. I would, you look at roads, you look at sidewalks, you look at where you need to put a fire hydrant. Why can't the city look at where they need to put a light and say, this is based on our analysis of where things are dark and for the public good, this is where we have to put up a light. I have a bit of a problem being a Bryant Park neighbor residents in having a, well, I don't like it, move the light. That isn't how you run
Well,
a city. That's,
Okay, well, this is,
Anyway.
we're just going by with our communications with Ed Liberty. Possibly we can bring Ed to our next meeting. The city manager, I know Jamie's always willing to pop on by. So, and Herman will be here. So maybe next month we can discuss it and see what the alternatives are.
Yeah, and there is a structure to the way that electric does the lighting. Depending on, obviously our blocks are different sizes throughout the city, but it's typically a mid block and then one on each corner, or one of the corners on each intersection. But it's kind of like you have the bare minimum for their standard, and you can always add more, but you have to have that bare minimum,
Okay.
and that's what we currently have.
Okay, all right, so we'll put that on the agenda for next month. Real quick, I also wanted to just, well, maybe Jamie, you can bring this along to the city manager and Juan Ruiz. We're still waiting to try and do a park study to try and see what we can do for improvements and opportunity areas and working with the band shell and so forth. So our new mayor is here. Madam Mayor, welcome, Betty Resch. I'm going to introduce you in just a second. But that's certainly something that a park study, and I know they wanted to do the entire city, but frankly, how long that will take and how involved, when they certainly can look at our park and at least get something going. Let's see, Courtney, I think Courtney just stepped away. Courtney just stepped away. I'll get back to her in just a second. The only other thing I see that I know we had at least 4 new memberships that were renewed, and those that want to renew or join, again, it's in the chat. You can find the address. You can send us an email. Give us your contact info, $10 individual, 15 for the family or household, 25 for businesses. Tell all your friends and neighbors. It is open outside of our borders. We just don't have voting rights when it comes around for whatever. We rarely vote on something, but you're welcome to join the neighborhood. We encourage it because we do like to do things outside of our borders and help out in other areas as well. I know that we got a treasurer. The treasurer received a check for $100, an anonymous donation, which is very appreciative. And I don't know what the balance is, but it's up around 3,000. And Courtney, is Courtney back? I don't see where Courtney's not back yet. Okay, dealing with the baby. That's fine. Let's see. Okay, so I think we're ready for. Are we ready? Yeah. Okay, so we are ready for our question and answer. Now, I know we have Miss Malega, Miss Commissioner Sarah Malega, and we have Commissioner Herman Robinson here, and our new Madam Mayor Betty Resch. I don't know, do we have Commissioner Blockson and Commissioner Kim here? I'm looking, maybe, maybe not. Okay, well, all right, so the interrogation will begin. Before I hand it over to the mayor, we'll just ask a couple of quick questions. Let's start with Sarah.
Questions.
Sarah, you ready?
It's question and answer.
Oh, unmute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you ready? These are going to be hard-hitting questions, and I have to apologize in advance. But you're a tough gal, and you're just going to have to put up with it. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Favorite comfort food? We want to get to know
Ooh.
everybody.
Ooh, favorite comfort food is
Yes,
probably
ma'am.
homemade chili.
Okay, that works. Toilet paper, over the top or underneath?
Over the top.
Okay. Favorite hobbies?
Snowboarding, and spending time with my family. Doesn't happen enough.
Very nice. Pets?
One, and her name is Lulu, and she thinks that she's a lap kitten, but she's really more like a mountain lion.
Okay. And finally, what do you like to do around town in your free time?
Obviously the beach is always one of my favorite things to do. I love to drive around and take down snipe signs. I know that sounds weird, but I do. I like to cut them down with my little pink razor thing. And I love to go to Bryant Park's beach club and enjoy the scenery and just take it all in and have one of their grilled avocado dishes and just enjoy the scenery and the waterfront.
There you go. Although now technically the club is up and that's up in Parrot Cove, the golf course. But we'll be glad to, accept the gratitude. It's okay.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Welcome. Okay, Herman? Commissioner Robinson? Is he there?
Was.
Yeah, go ahead, Marshall. I think I'll pass on the interrogation. I don't have my lawyer with me, so I'm looking forward to hearing from our new mayor, Commissioner Mayor Resch.
Okay. Okay. Before we do, I just want to, is Commissioner Clarkson, Commissioner Blockson, are you here? No. And Kim, Commissioner Stokes, are you here? No. Okay, well, if they pop in, we can interrogate them later. That all being said, with no further ado, I would like to introduce you to our newest, freshest, long-term resident, Madam Mayor Betty Resch. Take it away, Mayor.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here. It's some of the people I know here, some I don't. I'll probably get to know you as the years go by. I don't get the questions.
Oh,
Marshall?
yes, absolutely. Please.
Start me
favorite
off
com-
easy, baby. This is going to be a tough crowd.
Well, yeah, I know, right? Well, so what is your favorite comfort food?
Anything with carbohydrates and sugar kind
Oh.
of covers it. Pasta,
like-
bread, and ice cream.
So like a good big bowl of spaghetti and meatballs kind of thing.
I just had one actually.
There you go. Oh,
Mm.
okay.
Made by
Toilet
my
paper?
wonderful husband.
That would be Lou.
That would
Is
be
Lou-
Lou.
Is
The
Lou
first-
around? Does he want to pop in and say hi?
He's around, but he's busy right now. But
Okay.
he continues to walk every day, so you can wave at him as you go by.
And I can tell you something else, because being involved with the Little Free Libraries, I can tell you this. They have a Little Free Library as well for the last few years. And Lou is the steward for that.
Yeah.
And does
He's
a great
so proud
job.
of it.
Mary Lindsay will certainly vouch for him. Does a great.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about so many of us, the volunteers. So much is done behind the scenes without the accolades. We just know of each other doing these wonderful things. So it's all an awesome thing in this town. Betty, the hard-hitting question on number
Yes.
2 was toilet paper. Is it over the top or underneath?
It's over the top, and because that was the way the patent was done, so it's definitely officially over the top.
Well, there you go. Not that we always do everything the way things were intended in this town, but there you go. Okay. Your hobbies. I think people will be fascinated with some of these things you do. Hobbies.
Well, some things I used to do before my
Wow.
shoulder blew out and had to be replaced. I studied with Fushu Daiko as a taiko drummer, as a the big Japanese drums, and I can't do it anymore, but I've stayed friends with them. They're great people. I like to hang out in the garden. There's, free time is very short and not. I go to the beach at least once or twice a day. My office is only 2 blocks from my house here on South L Street. So, and I'm a little lazy and I have a bad foot, so I don't walk to the office. So every day my commute, at least once a day, I do the circle and see what's going on over at the beach.
Yeah, and Betty actually lives just a couple blocks west of our neighborhood in the downtown Jewel neighborhood.
And I own a condo on South Lakeside.
That's true that you do. I forgot about that as well. So yes, because you've been a member of our neighborhood in the past, just right. I
I
forgot.
have,
Yes.
and I'll join up again.
Sounds like a plan. Yep.
Yeah.
Your pets.
We're down to 4 dogs. We have had up to 8. We have a 15-year-old blind deaf poodle, a Chihuahua Dachshund mix who's nasty and we don't know how old she is, a very crippled, tiny, teeny, tiny Chihuahua who's about 17, and a really nice, we don't know what he is, but he's a really nice mid-sized dog. We have a bunch of cats that we rescued, and outside we have outside bird cages full of finches and parakeets and cockatiels and doves. So we keep ourselves busy. I guess our pets are our hobby, really, because they take a lot of time to care.
Okay. So what around town? Well, no, you answered about out downtown.
And the
All
beach
right,
club, the beach club at the golf club. I go there. I mean, if I go out to eat, if I have friends coming in, that's where we go. It's too wonderful.
Well, what we're waiting for, it'll be exciting also, is once they get the Gulfstream going
Oh.
again, we're gonna have that restaurant and bar open. And the way they describe it, it's gonna be an open air concept. So
Oh.
that even if you're walking through the main doors, uh, to go up to register to check in, you
Mhm.
will see it wide open there. So I think for our neighborhoods and meeting the neighbors and, this is gonna be so awesome and very welcoming, perfect for the town. It's a great
From
map.
your lips to God's ears is all I have to say about that. I
Well-
spoke with Mr. Gill. One of the first things I did after I got sworn in was call Mr. Gill, who's the developer, and I from the conversation that we had, it sounded really good. He's very optimistic about the funding. They're just lining that up. They're going to be asking for some things from the city, so that'll be coming up before the commission. But one thing that I said to him is, one of our not concerns, but one of the things I'm thinking about is when he's during the construction phase and after it's built, this hopefully is going to give us a lot of jobs in downtown Lake Worth, and we would like him to hire local people. And he said that that's one of their focuses. And the place, I think it was in Sioux City that they just opened, every person that works there lives within 2 miles of the building. So that's going to be a tremendous job creator. I told him, with what little power I have. I mean, I'm all for it. I wanted to go forward. I used to stay at the Gulfstream, so I wanted, we need it so badly. So yeah.
Yeah, in fact, when they were down recently to
Right.
announce for the financing, and in
Right.
speaking with them, his wife actually has
Mhm.
done way over 300 projects
Right.
herself.
Yeah.
So she's very much into not just making the jobs done well, but sensitivity to the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So one of the things when we talked was she wanted to let me know and let the neighborhood know that
Mhm.
everything they do, once the construction is coming and as they
Right.
proceed, all the road closings, all the adjustments that they're going to be needing, or, possibly, they're going to let the neighborhood know so we can get that out there. So nobody's gonna say, oh, I can't get, they can make other plans for driving or parking, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh.
And like you said about the jobs, that is a big goal for them, that they intend on having a lot of local people in as first choice. So
They seem pretty righteous in their intent, and I told them we are committed to getting it open. Nobody that I know wants to stop it. I mean, it's just, as far as I'm concerned, it's to go. Hi, Carla Bloxton, welcome aboard.
Hello, I'm sorry. I had an
Oh.
emergency. My sister is with me and
Oh.
she's ill. And so
Oh.
I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm here.
that's okay. Hey, Madam Mayor, can I interrupt just for a moment and ask Carla
Please.
our hard-hitting questions? Carla, you
Sure.
missed the hard-hitting segment of our, I'll run these through real fast. What's your favorite comfort food?
Pizza,
Mm.
Okay. Toilet paper over the top or underneath?
underneath,
Okay. Hobbies?
reading,
Okay. Pets?
no pets.
No
Paul's
pets.
allergic. Paul is allergic.
Okay. And what do you like to do free time around the town?
I'm sorry, say it again.
When you have free time, because I know you keep busy, when you have free time, what do you like to do around our beautiful city?
I like to go to the beach or go to the park.
Okay, there you go. Okay. By the way, I gave a shout out for the mural project, which you are heading with Kiwanis and with Healthier Lake Worth. It's an awesome project. Very happy to see what's going on. And I
Looks
think
great.
by the way, are you still looking for people on Saturdays to come paint?
Yes, we're always, and this Saturday, I will be there because Carmel will be out of town. So we're hoping that we get more artists and people volunteering to paint. Yes.
Do they need to bring any supplies with them, or are you providing everything?
No, we
Awesome.
provide everything that you would need.
Okay.
Are things like a box of Joe and 24 donuts helpful?
Yes, it's always
Okay.
helpful. Someone has to
Okay.
provide breakfast and someone provides lunch.
Okay,
And the hours that you're doing it on Saturdays are?
We start usually around 8. It should be set up by 8. And we probably won't stay longer than 2. Some of the artists probably stay until 4:30, but most of the crowd thins out about 2 o'clock.
Okay, great.
looks beautiful.
Okay, did we cover it all for you on that, or anything else you want to add?
Nothing except that we have probably 54 spaces covered.
Okay.
Oh, would it be over by wine or something?
Hey, Courtney? Courtney? Oh, she's unmuted. All right, I thought she was back. All right, Madam Mayor, we will go back to you.
Oh, goody.
Well, you're the star of our show.
I can hardly wait.
Well, no, this is all meant to be, two-way communication, let you know our people's thoughts, but you can certainly let them know your thoughts. And for those that are wondering, this, just like many of our, all of our meetings, whenever we have them, because Commissioner Robinson is always at our meetings, when we have the other electeds come visit, there's a blanket statement that goes to the city clerk. So sunshine laws don't come into play. They are allowed to talk about whatever they want to talk about, whether it's in front of them now or in the future. But again, they can form their thoughts as they go, and then up on the dais, they hash it out. So what would you like to talk about? Any the casino complex, the beach, the pool, anything like that?
Well, one of the things that yeah, sure. One of the things that I brought up when I was running was that second giant room at the casino on the second floor that is being used as storage. And I really, we all just got, the three of us that got sworn in were sworn in like less than a week ago. So we have a lot of catching up to do. We're getting our iPads, we're getting our phones, we're trying to get the furniture in my office had termites, so it had to go. So we're doing that kind of stuff and meeting with commissioning with department heads and personnel and all that stuff. So, but we're all very anxious to get going with our different projects. I want to, so I'm going to be asking the staff to explain the status of that room. It's a big empty room where the most beautiful sunset and the most beautiful sunrise in Palm Beach County is used as a storage room. Now, if there's a reason, I just want to know what's going on. And I think people want to know what's going on because I think that's a really unused asset, that second floor. There was something, now, again, now as the mayor, I can ask questions and find things out a little bit easier than just as a citizen. And, what a wasted opportunity. You go up to that second floor at sunset. There it is, the beautiful sunset over Palm Beach County. Why can't I go up there and have a drink or a snack or something? Why is nothing happening there? So, and I don't know the answers. So that's one of the first things that I'm going to focus on is just get that, aside from reading, learning the basics. I'm going to talk to the head of finance and tell him that he's got to explain it to me, the budget as a fourth grader who's bad at math, because essentially I'm a fourth grader who's bad at math. So when it comes to math, and if anybody, here's one thing, any help that somebody wants to give me, I am open to help. If there's somebody out there that really knows how to read budgets, give me a call, help me out, okay? Because there's certain things I'm really good at, certain things I'm not as good at. So that's one of the things I'm gonna need help with. And I'm gonna turn to staff, of course, but I just wanna catch up as quickly as I can. So, so as far, one of the first things, aside from just carrying on the business of the city, one of the things that's coming up on Thursday night for the commission meeting is the downtown outdoor eating. How long do we extend it? What does it look like? It's gotten a little out of hand, I think, but I think also on the other hand, it's kind of festive and fun. So if you look at the agenda packet that's online, there's a whole part of it about it, and you can see like exactly on that thing where, what restaurant has what parking spaces that they're taking. So that'll be something that's coming up on the agenda on Thursday. The other thing, the pool, the hot potato that nobody wants to talk about. We have a lot to learn. We have a lot to learn. I believe, and I know that not everybody agrees with this, but I believe that with the amazing resource, the amazing asset that we have at the beach, that it makes sense. And if we can't figure out a way to do it, we won't, but we got to try. Whether that's a private. However, I spoke with a couple of people already about different funding sources. There's a wonderful thing about, I want more of our kids. We have kids that live in the city that have never been to the beach. They don't know that they live near a beach. And I want to get, there's a mosquito. I want to get as many kids as possible up to that beach, because I see the beach as a double asset. One is for us who live here. I mean, good Lord, you go up there, it's amazing. But I also think, so I want the beach area to be welcoming to all the families of Lake Worth. At the end of the day, If you don't have a pool and you're a hardworking family and you have a couple kids and you want to go up to the beach, right now, there's really not much to go up to unless you're going to go in the ocean. And if it's after work, there's not life, it's not that friendly. I would like to see as part of a pool complex, whether it's the pool that's up there now, I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll have to look at it. I've spoken with Sally Welsh. She was a big supporter. And I've, there's a few people that are like the pool is their gig. And I've talked to them and I'm asking them, what do you need? So I envision a time where we have a place like after work, a family, they come home from work, they go up to the beach. There's a splash park for the kids. There's a place maybe to buy a hot dog, whether that's a hot dog, a little, I love La Playa, I love Benny's on the beach, but little families with little kids can't really go there. So to try to find some way to make it a little more family friendly and not a fancy, one thing that we all know about Lake Worth is we're not very good at maintenance. We don't keep things up and fix things very well. So when I talk about a splash park, I don't mean something fancy like, the Myers at the, jumping up and down. I'm a very basic person. I live in the same tiny little house I bought 30 years ago. I'm talking about like a hose on a shower head, something that's easy to maintain, that kids at the end of the day can go up and get wet and relax and enjoy this beach that we have. And just be up there after work. So that's one of the things. We have to look at all the different aspects of the pool, how that's going to work out. Remains to be seen. I mean, that's one of the things that we're going to be getting a lot of input from. And I'm welcoming all the everybody's got an opinion. God knows this is Lake Worth. So so as far as that goes, I mean, there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of questions to be answered. And as we find, and one of the things I want to do, and one of the things I ran on was, transparency and open information. And I'm talking to the staff about how do we make the website a little more transparent? How do we get, I talked to a guy today that got a permit for a house he just bought across the street. And, he did an owner builder permit and, it's fine. He's doing, but there were certain things I said, how could it be easier? And he told me how it could be easier. Like when you first look at the website, I want to build a fence. What do you need? That you don't fill out the application. They go, oh, but you need a survey. So here's what you need to get started. Those are the kind of things that I'm really focusing on. It's just, the governance, the how user-friendly, how easy we can make it for our citizens. I think our notice is inadequate. I think the CRA notices are inadequate. I think the code enforcement, I agree with you, Sylvia. We need a lot of input. Absolutely. There are people who are really good at this, so we've already now, having said that, the city has already spent $300,000 on studies out of the penny sales tax money. So the first thing we have to do is look at those, what did they study and what did they come up with? So again, we're going to put that, we're going to make it accessible so everybody can read it. Because we're all, one thing I learned in knocking on doors and talking to people over the past few months is we have a really intelligent, really engaged, really innovative, smart citizenry living here. We've got some really talented people. So I want a little bit more input from everybody, which I may regret in 6 months, but for now I'm still looking. I'm still looking for it. That's it for now.
Okay.
Ms. Rotella?
Well,
has a
sorry?
oh, that's it. Has thumbs up. Thank you.
Yeah. So I want to just point out, Sylvia Rotella has put in the commentary some additional information to help you out that you could, read it or copy and paste it. For down on Wingfield for the mural project.
Right.
We thank you for that. And if you like, if we can keep it short, guys, if it's a question or a comment for the mayor about any of the things she was talking about, the casino, doing something upstairs. And I should mention, I know that at least for the next few months, I believe that the owner for Benny's and Viva La Playa restaurants up at the beach, he has, I believe it was a 6-month window from opening to, he has rights to do something up there. I believe that's the status of it.
That's what I'm going to find out. What is the date? Because nothing's happening as far as I know. So,
right. Well, he just opened a few months ago, so that's why I think that's what it was. Maybe Commissioner Robinson can better. Herman, do you happen to know or remember offhand?
The negotiations are open. And I'm really enthusiastic about Mayor Resch putting that as one of her top agenda items. I want to work with her and the rest of the commission to accentuate our assets. Thank you.
Herman, do you know, or who do we ask? Who do we ask to find out what is that end date for La Playa to either take it or not take it? I mean, it's been 6 years.
I'm not going to embarrass anybody.
You just let me know. Tell Savina to let me know.
The question was asked a week ago and I didn't get an answer.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so here we are, a week out.
Okay, so if we have any, as I was mentioning, a short comment, please, for time's sake, and otherwise a question you might have for the mayor, just specifically for the mayor. We can get to Herman in a moment as our liaison, but for our mayor as our guest tonight, any of the things she's talked about or any other questions that you would like to know about the city or about her? Who's that? Laurel, are you raising your hand?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi,
I'd
Laurel.
like to pose, I know, to the mayor and the new commissioners, welcome. Very excited about having everybody aboard. And I know Mr. Brown is on this. And this has been a a thing of mine, and I know a certain commissioner is going to probably throw things at the screen, but that is alternate side of the street parking so that we can get the streets clean. This is something that happens in densely occupied urban areas. I'm thinking downtown Manhattan, I'm thinking Chicago, and I really don't see why we can't have alternate side of the street parking. It would clean up the city. I think we have trouble, you alluded to it, Madam Mayor, about keeping things clean and tidy and spruce. And I think looking at an alternate side of the street parking would be a good step in that direction. And I don't know if it's ever really been seriously contemplated or not. Thank you.
Jamie, can you unmute?
No.
Jamie? Are you still there? I see his name up there.
Laurel, that's and I remember that from the city. It's not every other day though, is it? It's like a certain day of the week that you have to be off the street. From what I remember.
No, there isn't anything. You never have to move your car.
No, I mean in New York.
Oh, yes, it's alternating. Yeah, it's not every week.
Here, I think they use Wednesday since that's not the
Right.
any of the trash days, so they're able to, go up and down more often.
Yeah, I
But no,
remember
like
running
this-
out
our
at 5 in the
street-
morning to move my car in New York.
Yeah, but it got done, right?
It got
You know,
done.
It got done. And I actually spoke to someone who was intimately involved in cleaning the streets, meaning the person in the truck. And I said, why don't they do this? And the answer was, I have no idea. We'd really be able to do a much better job if we could do that.
Yeah.
Well, I
One thing
think
I
on the
wanted-
agenda, oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, I think on the agenda you got coming up, dealing with the parking or adjustments to parking contract and so forth. So maybe you can work that into the street issue of parking and cleaning with the sweeper, however you work that, adjustments. I don't know.
One of the things that I want to do, and before we all got elected, I said this to Sarah and Kim and whoever else was running. I think that I would like to have at least bi-weekly and hopefully every week somehow, probably every other week, a Zoom agenda meeting so that we are talking ahead of time before the night meeting about, hey, this is up on the agenda next time, and what do you think? And what do you think? And have some of those conversations amongst ourselves with people able to listen and put it up on YouTube so that before the night of the meeting, you have more information about the way it's going and how people are thinking, and you can approach a commissioner who you agree with or disagree with more than the 2-minute rant that you get currently at the city commission meetings, which are useless and very frustrating. So, so that's one of the other things that I'm trying to do, just to open things up, because that's what I heard again and again and again. I don't get a phone call back. I don't get an email back. When you call the city, nobody answers the phone. You leave a message. Everybody needs to know, because we're all here. You know, the commissioners and the mayor of tomorrow is sitting out there. Also, an education committee, we're talking about that had started the conversation, and I met with Erica Whitfield yesterday. I think the education is very important. The education to connect those kids that are going to Lake Worth. You know, we have a lot of schools in our town, and those kids are the mayors and the business owners and everybody of tomorrow. So I really would like our kids to feel a little more welcome, a little more integrated into the school. So we're going to talk about how we can reach out to the schools a little bit more. I think we need to talk about Dixie Highway. I think Dixie Highway is sad, and I don't know what the fix is, but I think we need to talk about it. I would like to maybe have, you know, Sarah's a small business owner. Maybe she should be the person, you know, and that's sort of thing. Let's get people that have an interest and expertise to talk with other people about the things that they're concerned with. So those are just some of the ideas that I've got.
You know, just as a quick side thought for you on the agenda, possibly the city can just set up a simple email address like agenda thoughts or agenda requests at Lake Worth Beach, blah, blah, blah. So we could put that out through our neighborhoods. People can send in whatever ideas they want, good, bad, or otherwise, but at least that helps you with your transparency and things that frankly you might not have seen or heard about just yet, but it's just out there. So,
well, that's the other thing about meeting, even if it's a Zoom meeting like this, you know, Kim, what are you hearing in your neighborhood? What am I hearing all over town? What's Sarah hearing in her district? So we need to talk more. And it's really hard, I'll tell you, with the sunshine law, because you really can't talk about stuff. So we have to find ways to keep not just the communication between the commission and the citizens open, but to keep the communication amongst ourselves open and share that with the citizens.
Right. But also doing something like this where we've got a really good crowd tonight, and I know that it's being recorded for the other neighborhoods. So this is certainly helping with a lot of it, you know, rather than people going to Facebook and putting up their reality.
I'm back to kittens and puppies on Facebook. I'm back to baby goats on Facebook.
Well, I know you appreciate a lot of the stuff I put up, so I thank you for that.
I do.
Just constructive and respectful, that's all.
Yeah, you know, we have so much talent in this city, and every one of us lives here for a specific purpose. We chose to live in Lake Worth. We didn't happen to live in Lake Worth. We saw what was around and we said, this is where I want to make my home. And that I think is very interesting. I see Thaddeus. Hi, how are you? I had a conversation with Thaddeus earlier today, and I was very glad to hear from him about the pool, about aquatics for our children. And I don't think the man you told me is here.
Yes, now he's here. He has his hand up, actually.
Where is he?
Now he's iPhone.
He's next to Greg on the screen. Next to between Sylvia and Greg.
Okay, I think.
And and then Sylvia, I see you had your hands up.
Aloha, everyone. Can you hear me?
There you are. There you are. Hi.
Hi. How is everyone tonight?
We got some talking to do, Mr. Good Beer.
Yes, we do. We do. Certainly.
Okay,
First of all, I want to welcome you
to
your new seat. I'm so happy to hear all of the professionalism now in Lake Worth.
Thank you.
So this is very, very exciting. Yes. So what we do at Street Waves is we have been bringing underrepresented children to the beach and to swimming pools by the thousands since 2008. And
what's the name of your program again? You said it rather quickly.
It's called, Street Waves. You can check out our website at streetwaves.org to see the work that we're doing. Thaddeus reached out and let me know that you're going to be focusing on the swimming pool at some point. I just wanted to let you know that we're here on standby as that progresses to begin bringing children there. We bus them in, we teach them swimming, surfing, sailing, maritime career, education, boating safety, and all of our services are free of charge.
That's amazing. That's just amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you do
so I-
kayaking? Do you do kayaking?
We don't do kayaking, we do some paddleboarding. Our huge
Because we have
focus
some
is
great
swimming.
docks. We have great docks in Lake Worth. So that's
Docks,
great.
boat docks? Oh, great, great.
Paddleboard and
Yeah.
kayak docks. Yep.
Okay, wonderful,
Yep.
wonderful. Yeah, so many of the children that we support are those that you mentioned earlier who have never seen the ocean. And those are the kids that we work with. We do our very best to expose them to aquatics. Surfing is the way we
That's crazy.
provide for them the opportunity to fall in love with the ocean and become caretakers of the sea. And then, of course, we segue into boating, teaching them about the rules of the road. We have many volunteer captains, marine scientists, marine mechanics that really begin to welcome them into the maritime community.
Where are you based out of?
We're based out of Del Rey, founded in 2008 in South Beach, Miami Beach.
Great. Great.
So we've grown capacity along the coast from Miami-Dade County, Broward County. Now we're in Palm Beach County, and we work as far north as Jupiter so
Okay.
far.
Well, to teach our kids surfing in our beautiful beach would just be great. Great.
Madam
Well,
Mayor,
that's what we do. So please
Yes,
have a
Mr.
look at our website, see our work, and let me know
Totally.
that I'm here. I'd love to meet with you, see the pool, share some ideas.
You
and
don't want to see it
how
right
we
now.
can-
Madam Mayor, can you introduce him to the Lake Worth Beach Sail Club?
Yeah, because that's another part of it. I want to reach out to I think Tom and Ted about that, because I've noticed a lot of sailboats in our, in the intercoastal recently, and I love it. It looks great. And I
Okay.
understand there's some sort of restriction about people the sailboats using those docks that we have. But even if we make it a mooring, what I'm suggesting is something like, my father was a sailor and he sailed up and down from Maryland to the Bahamas all the time.
Oh,
And when you
wow.
pull into, yeah, crazy old man. When you pull into, an area where a mooring, you call the city, you say, I'm here, let me pay my fees. And every day or every other day, the poop boat, the suction boat comes and pumps you all out. Because as many as there are out there now, I'm getting a little concerned about what's going into the intercoastal. And I think to promote our waterfront, not just the ocean, as a beautiful place to moor, walk a few blocks, have a great dinner, and go, and then, go back on your little dinghy back out to your boat. What a great opportunity. I don't know if you all have noticed that, but right now there's like 10 or 12 boats anchored out there. That's just another idea.
And
So, Mr.
Maui?
Yeah.
Nice. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
this is Marshall Pass. I'm the president of Bryant Park neighborhood, but I'm also with an organization over all the neighborhoods in our community, which we would
Okay.
love to have you be involved as well. That's NAPC, Neighborhood Association President's Council. If you can
Okay.
jot down 2 emails that I give you,
Okay, just a
NAPC,
moment.
okay, NA,
NAPC.
right, for Neighborhood Association President's Council, NAPC info for information at Gmail.
NAPC info at Gmail. All right. Just a
Right.
second. I'm going to get to my desk.
Right,
NAPC.
info at Gmail. And if you can look in the chat,
Info.
actually, you'll see our neighborhoods.
Okay.
I'd like you to send it to our neighborhoods.
NAPC info at Gmail. Got it.
Right. And also because that whole pool
Okay.
complex is in our neighborhood. That's Bryant Park Neighborhood News. at
Okay.
Gmail. That's in the chat, though. You
Okay.
can find it. If you can send both of us whatever info you care to and the link for the website and so forth, I'll be more than happy to bring this up and see for future planning, working with the city and so forth, as their plans go along. This is something I know
Okay.
that many of the neighborhoods that are in need that would love to put this out to the families with the children, especially the younger ones that need to learn how to swim. So that would be great.
Certainly, absolutely, absolutely. Let me make sure I have that information. So I have napcinfo@gmail.com. You said there was another as well.
That's Bryant Park Neighborhood News. I should have just typed that in here, I guess, but Bryant Park Neighborhood News at Gmail. Okay, I saw somebody else's hand up. Oh, no, Sylvia. Sylvia, did you still have something you want to say or did we cover?
You covered it.
Okay. I'm not seeing anybody else's hand up. Do we have any other comments? Oh, I'm sorry. Thaddeus.
Yes, good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to share what what Diversity Aquatics is up to, and Maui does amazing work with the Street Waves organization. And just to want to let you know that there's a deeper benefit to learning to swim. Water safety is always the foundation about learning to swim. But now there's new science that's coming out called the blue mind, not coming out, but becoming better known, is that there's a science that was study done called the blue mind. There was another study done called smart water babies. There was one other study done called the Griffith study out of Australia, where they found that children who learn to swim earlier perform better in all markers in their development, in their social development, in their cognitive skills, in their motor skills. They were more self-efficacious. They felt more confident. They had social emotional development at an advanced stage, sometimes 6 months to 16 months in advance of their peers who could not swim. It also benefits adults, young adults, and adolescents and young adults. Swimmers tend to be the better college students. They have higher grades. They have less academic or behavioral issues. Don't get me wrong, it's not a panacea, but there is science to back up why that happens. It's called the Blue Mind by Dr. Wallace J. Nichols.
Okay.
So, and when you're exposed to bodies of water like the beautiful ocean front that Lake Worth has and the surfing that Maui provides, there's a deeper connection. And they actually did the study where they looked at the brain waves and what happens so that you downregulate the nervous system. It can impact anxiety, post-traumatic stress, depression. And we're not just talking about exercise.
Okay.
Yes, that's also, but there is another level of what the water does for the body. When you lose the relationship.
Thaddeus, Thaddeus, I don't want to cut you off, but we're up to 8:01 now.
I just want to add one thing to that.
Okay.
That this past year has been so traumatic for our children, and especially many of our children in Lake Worth, because their parents are, when I met with Erica yesterday, I mean, a lot of little kids have been left home with like, okay, keep the computer on, mom's got to go to work. So we have no idea what's going on. So now more than ever, I think that we owe our children some extra attention in those things. And yeah, thank you. I look forward to working with both of you.
Right. And whatever the commission is able to.
And so do I.
There you go. So whatever
Wonderful.
you guys.
Well, I look forward to working with you as well, certainly.
Yeah.
Well, we've got 4 of our commissioners. I don't know. Commissioner Stokes, have you appeared yet? Are you here? Maybe not. Okay. Well, we've got 4 of the electeds up there. So hopefully you're speaking to the right people. You're speaking to not just our neighborhood association, but many of the people that are involved around town. So I could speak for my neighborhood and say that we are more than happy to support these efforts. We just need to get the city's abilities and decisions made and, get the shovel in the ground. Let's go,
We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do.
All right. I saw, Sylvia, did you have your hand up a moment ago?
Giovanni?
Hello, Mayor. I just want to say welcome, and we look forward to working with you. I'm with the World Mission Society Church of God, which is really close to downtown Lake Worth. And we're very involved with the community. Just the past few years, we received the Presidential Service Award. And we're actually very excited to work with NAPC as well. But just wanted to say congratulations, and we look forward to working with you. And if you can count on us on anything, whenever you need some volunteers for any activities, please count us in.
How can we get, I'm just writing your name down. What is your role there?
I'm the events coordinator. So we have a lot of activities that happen, but even just throughout the year. But just working with NAPC, we can kind of coordinate some events together, or if you have something going on with the city, just know that you have the whole church supporting you.
How would I get in touch with you, Giovanni? You have a phone
I
number?
can send you an email. I can put it on this. I can send you a direct message, or I can just put it on this chat, if that's okay.
If you just put up there, I can get it off the notes,
Awesome. I'll send it right now.
I think.
By the way, I guess while he's doing that, I should just mention, for those that aren't aware, for the bulk of city employees and the staff, I don't know if it's complete staff, but it's certainly the senior and mid-level staff. They all have emails that will end in @Lake Worth Beach FL gov. Lake Worth Beach FL.gov. Now, what you put before the @ would be their first initial, followed by their last name. The only one.
Giovanni, I see your name, but I don't see a phone number.
Oh, okay. I'll put that in.
Yeah.
So now I know that they have to make, I don't know if they made the correction today, but for Commissioner Stokes, evidently there is already a K Stokes. Whether the current employee, I don't believe so, but I'm guessing that they have to, for public information reasons, they can't use it again. So it's actually for her K.D. Stokes. And everybody else, like Commissioner Robinson, is H. Robinson, etc. Okay.
I'd like to ask one thing real quick.
Yes, Tracy.
I was wondering if Thaddeus could type in a web, do you have a web address or anything so people could find out more about what you do?
Yes, I'm typing it now, diversityandaquatics.org.
Oh, that makes sense. Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. My pleasure.
And thank you, Sylvia, for putting in that blue.
Right.
Yeah, you're going to find there's a lot of people in this room that are involved in a lot of different things. Okay, that was diversity in aquatics.org. Okay. Okay. Anybody else with questions, comments?
And Giovanni, no, not Giovanni, Thaddeus, even before we have a pool, like we spoke on the phone today, even before we have a pool, I think we should talk about using other pools to get the kids used to the water so that Maui can take over when they get a little comfortable and make this start it up and get it going.
Yes.
You know, Madam Mayor, if I can suggest, you do have, the high school has the pool right up there front. So whether we can work with the school district and maybe.
There's also the other one down Lake Worth Road. There's another pool. The rehabilitation center has a, I don't know.
Oh,
the name
that's
of
right.
it.
No,
No, there's a few possibilities.
Lake Lytle, yeah.
Certainly, that's a great idea. Thaddeus mentioned something about a high.
There's a high school pool right here
Awesome.
as
Yeah, I'd
well.
love to tour the city and see what facilities.
Well,
Okay,
we'll invite
great.
you up and we'll spend some time together.
Excellent.
Ryan.
Okay, I see.
Excellent.
I see
That'll
Ryan's
be
hand up.
wonderful.
Yes, Ryan. Ryan, who is our president of Sunset Ridge neighborhood, and the Ryan Oblender, and he is also the communications and secretary for the NAPC.
Yes,
Yes,
hello.
Ryan.
Yeah, my question is for all the electeds. You can take turns answering, or Betty, if you want to answer. My question is mainly concerning the boards. The city has a lot of boards, and the relationship with the boards has not been so great over the past couple of years. Is there going to be some kind of announcement or formal notification saying that these boards are welcome, they want to get filled with positions?
We're meeting. We're setting up meetings already. I've already met with one of the CRA members. I'm meeting another one in another few days. We're just, Ryan, we've been here a week. We're doing our best.
No, I understand. I was just asking if there's
we have
any
to,
kind
no,
of
I agree with you. One of the things that I talked about during my campaign was, you know, talking to the different boards and seeing how they go. And, you know, I had a very good conversation yesterday with Brent Whitfield about the CRA. So, you know, a lot of communication has to open up. And we have to figure, you know, we have to figure a lot of things out. Sarah?
Yeah, can I just say too, that I've also requested that on the city's website, once we are ready to start appointing to the boards, there's going to be a blinking icon on the homepage that'll say apply for appointment boards here. So you'll be able to see what openings there are and for what district.
Great.
So in the works, just sit back and you know, let us get our feet wet.
Right. Now, one thing years ago, were you done, Sarah?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, years ago, when you got, the way to get appointed was a board, you applied and there was a discussion and open among the, the commission about pros and cons of different people and a vote was taken. Apparently, that's changed and apparently right now, they're like straight up political appointments. And I think I have an interest in maybe looking at the other way of doing it and just, revisiting how we appoint boards.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And, well, I think there's 3 people right there, but I'm not, this is not a commission meeting to do that. I forgot to mention earlier, and just for our meeting aspect, there are a number of board openings. So if you are curious, we have everything from the tree board, the finance board, the recreation board, planning and zoning, etc. Although I don't think they have an opening. But I would encourage anybody, if you've never thought about it, or even if you have, please look at the boards and see they do show up on the site, or they should show anyway. I'm not sure how up to date it might be just right now. But they will show you how many positions there are. Most are 7, and what openings they are.
It's not, Marshall, it's not updated. They're working on that now.
Yeah.
The boards, like I think it was the library board, have some memberships that actually expired in the middle of the pandemic.
Right.
They're going through all of them with a fine tooth comb, and once they're, like I said, once they're ready, you'll actually be able to do the application right on the website.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think Carla's with us anymore. I think Carla may have left out, but
Oh,
I have a feeling that there's going to be, don't kill me, Sarah. I think that there's a lot of things that we're going to have to workshop again, because it's the only way we can talk to each other, to just talk about the boards. We have a lot of things to talk about. So we're all going to be spending a lot more time starting out.
And you
Yes,
mentioned the education committee, and we were talking about a charter review committee. Thank you, Mayor Resch, for your interest in all these things that have been pent up and waiting to happen.
Yeah, well, no, it's going to be a team effort. I mean, this is not, I think that Sarah is the expert on small businesses in Lake Worth. If we have a Dixie Highway, a thing about small business, she's the one that runs a small business.
Yeah, I'd really like to get a small business liaison group going, and I'm working.
I agree
on that right now.
Yeah, I think you'd be the perfect person for that, Sarah.
Or even a chamber wouldn't be bad.
I think Ryan has his hand up.
Yes,
he does have his hand up. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yes, Ryan.
Yeah, as a follow-up question to that would be something I asked Herman at Coffee with the Commissioner. I want to hear your input as well. When I was running for District 2 Commissioner, the topic always came up of diversity on the dais and also with the boards. So how would you address diversity on the dais?
Well,
Sorry.
Hey,
Diversity
Carla.
on the boards or the dais in the future.
Right. Well, one of the things I think that the basic issue has been is communication, reaching out to the neighborhoods. We made I personally, when I was running, I made contact with with groups of people that I didn't even know had a presence in Lake Worth. As a matter of fact, our swearing in was run on the most popular Bangladesh TV station. If you want to know that, we have something to be proud of. So reaching out, if you listen, we're geeks. We're here at a meeting about, your Bryant Park. We who are here are kind of city geeks. We love it. But until you get involved with it, you really don't know what's out there. So again, let's reach out. Let's somehow reach out to people and go, these things are available. And if you don't know it's available, you don't apply for it. So I think, again, each commissioner has their own district to reach out to their constituents and say, this is, and how we do that is, I used a lot of social media in my campaign. I was on Facebook more than I ever thought I could be. And, but it worked. I mean, we can reach out to people that way. And the Haitian community, very receptive. We have, how many different South American, Central American, Mexican communities do we have in this city? And one of the things, for a fun thing I would like to do, when with help of volunteers, we did the centennial celebration 6 years ago. One of the most, what?
More than that,
right? Yeah, Betty needs to learn how to delegate, right? But one of the things that we did, and Marshall, you remember, this was the International Day at the Culture Plaza.
Yes.
And it was the most fun. It was the most fun. So as I've spoken with people, I want to enlarge that. I want to make that everybody in Lake Worth, you can't hate somebody you know. You know, we got to know each other because those kids are the kids, those are the neighborhoods that are here that we need to, you know, Irish people, I mean, people were not really welcome when they got here. So that's just part of the way this place works, but they're here. And I look at I have a large Guatemalan family next door. And I look at them and I thought, if I saw pictures of those folks in a National Geographic, right? In their native clothes and their native environment, oh, you know, how beautiful. But here they're sort of invisible and they work hard and I don't want to pick tomatoes. And so let's get to know them and let's celebrate. We have Irish, we have Finns, but you know, I was on the board of the Finnish American Chamber of Commerce. I'm still a member of that.
And they brought the Finnish festival back here.
They brought the Finnish
three or
festival
4
back.
years ago, which is
Yep.
great. And they
I mean,
had a ton of volunteers.
We had Bolivian dancers, Irish dancers.
Yep.
We had the Haitian community. It was a great day, and I would like to bring that back.
Betty, I'd love to help you. If I can just say, I'd love to help you with an international festival.
Great.
In Bryant Park.
In Bryant Park.
Like a weekend, the Saturday and Sunday, would be fantastic.
In the fall sometime. Yep.
Mayor, if you've ever been to Sarasota, I want to invite some Amish to Lake Worth Beach.
Why not?
Yeah.
Invite them all. The other thing, if I could just backtrack, going back to when you mentioned workshops, you don't have to hash it out here or anything, but I think you should also revisit the structure of the workshops, because number one, it's always felt like, you know, people can't talk at these unless the mayor changed the rule for that night to say, yes, they could go up there and speak for 3 minutes. But the reality to me anyway, is in a workshop where you really want to spend more time is, I think you'd want to spend more time with the neighbors though, too. Let them talk, just like we're doing here. So while people don't have to go and pull your ear the whole time, but you'll get people, and possibly doing it this way through a Zoom meeting.
That's what I'm talking about.
Quasi in there, you could get a lot of people that will bring up thoughts and ideas, even if they just type them in the chat area for you.
Right. No. Well, that's what I'm talking about with the agenda meetings. That's the same concept. Is like, get on, listen, we all know how to Zoom now.
Yeah. And
get
I think
on Zoom and we can talk about it from the comfort of our own homes.
And yeah, because I think the problem was, and Herman could probably talk more about it because he's been up there a few years, is that the issue was that they didn't want to risk being too overwhelmed, or, you know,
it's
things
scary.
get out of
Listen,
control and so forth.
Let's not forget, I spent 8 years on a dais when I was city attorney here in Lake Park. Yes. And I mean, you know, there comes a point. So we've got to figure out the balance between public input and actually getting some work done. So one of my ideas would be to have a little informal agenda workshop. Okay, we have a workshop coming up next week. Let's, the commissioners and the mayor in a Zoom meeting with people can listen. You know, here's what I think, here's what I think. And then you can write to each one and say, I think you're an idiot. You know, that was a really bad idea. Or aren't you so smart? Thank you very much. So
we're off to a great start.
Yes, and one other thought for
I'm
you.
an idiot.
One other thought for you regarding the boards, because I used to be on the tree board, and if I tell you, it literally took them, literally no exaggeration, almost 3 years to get that tree replaced that came down in the Cultural Plaza.
Yeah.
One reason or another, just it was insane. And helping them with the rec board, they couldn't meet because of sunshine laws.
Right.
So somewhere in there, we have to be able to maybe allow these boards to maybe meet through a Zoom meeting where, again, the public can come in that way. So at least it's still out there, but they can talk more often than a once a month meeting.
Exactly.
Especially when you're, like, if the rec board's working on Easter, well, they couldn't.
You're trying to get something done.
And Erica Whitfield was at the time the chair of that. And it's like, I say, Erica, how do you do the meetings with this? And it was very difficult, where she was almost doing it all herself and coming to them for their monthly meeting to try and, here's what we're going to have to do.
And that was before Zoom. So now you can do
And
it.
that was
Advertising,
exactly.
taking it right.
That's right.
It's very interesting. One of the things that I realize is, you know, how the city operates with budgets. We do. That's the business of doing. But what I realize is I talk to people and knock on doors. So for example, I went to the Green Market Saturday morning. Lovely, talked to chat with this lady. She goes, you know, there's a flag at half mast at the annex, and there's no light on that flag at night. Now the flag's either supposed to come down or have a light on it. Now I didn't think of that, but that's the kind of thing that our citizens take notice of. And so I'm gonna see if I can get a light on that. It's that kind of appearance. It's that kind of, it's our face to our public, to our people that I want to try to, little things that also help.
As a thought for you, I know the website has areas where we can go in and talk about potholes or whatever.
Mhm.
Maybe just a simple catch-all email address,
Yeah.
concerns or citizen,
Right. And
LWB
maybe have
concerns.
someone be an ombudsman for that too.
Exactly.
Because I don't know what phone calls Carla and Sarah are getting, or Kim or Herman, but I've gotten quite a few interesting calls that they need to be addressed. They're citizen concerns, but does it take me to do that?
Right.
Like I said, lots to figure out. A lot to
So,
figure out.
yeah, having one key person that can forward that to Jamie Brown or whoever.
Something, right.
Or directly get back because they have a reference book they can reply with a phone
And
number. Or whatever.
people just want to be listened to.
That's
And
right.
the overwhelming complaint I got out there on the streets was nobody will return a phone call, nobody will return an email. And when you call the building, whatever department it is, you get a voicemail. And that's
been a
big.
concern for
That's
a
our
long
face
time.
to the people.
And we here in our neighborhood association, we hear it a bit.
Yeah.
So, but looking forward to some really, positive, great constructive things happening.
We have a real opportunity here. We have a good base. The city's not in bad shape. We just now, and I'm very grateful that we have the opportunity now to sort of take it to the next step and change our focus a little bit while maintaining everything else. Ryan.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I heard Sarah Malega trying to say something earlier. I'm not sure if she still has something to say.
Oh, Sarah?
I did. I was just going to mention that, actually Betty just said it, when you're out knocking on doors, the one thing I did is when I was talking to people who had an interest in being on a board is that I took note. So I follow up with those people.
Oh, great.
It's important that, like Betty said, when you're making contact. I had my a meeting this morning with the city attorney and Juan and Michael, and told them that the one thing that I really want to start immediately on is the fact that we do have an initiative and a resolution and the code written to have window dressings on all these vacant commercial properties. The drawings have been done, and I told them that this is of utmost importance to me, that we get these commercial properties notified via letter, that they have 120 days or whatever our code says to get these window clings on and to start dressing up the downtown. And in the middle of, us trying to figure out how to get bodies in these places, we also need to worry about how to beautify the downtown. As we said, if it's an eyesore, let's fix it. We got the teeth. We just don't, unfortunately, a lot of things were just slipping through the cracks. And now that you have fresh eyes and new energy, I think some of those things will be, you'll see the conduit come together and you'll start seeing some small changes quickly, just like Betty mentioned with the flag.
And for the storefronts too, have the high school art kids display their art, have local artists display their art, make it even if they're not, a store. And I would love, I don't know what, no one can figure out the business plan of the Peters family. I'm going to hope to talk to them and maybe find some other incentives to get them to be a little more active in, if their plan is to buy a bunch of properties and let them sit because whatever tax write-offs or whatever they're doing with it, apparently they don't need the income. That's fine. That's public, that's private property. But in the meantime, you're hurting my city.
And the same thing can be said about South Federal Highway.
Exactly. South Federal. Well, yeah.
I should also mention Yolanda Robinson, who is head of code, is also in our meeting tonight. Jamie's here, of course. Jamie, by the way, for those that didn't know, Jamie's the operations of the city. That's the roads, the sidewalks, not the water or the street lights, but he is parks and, all those other sorts of things. But
one
Yolanda
of the most responsive departments we have in the city is Jamie's department.
Yes, it is.
Really, Carla,
Absolutely.
Yes. Every time I call Jamie, he is right there. He does everything I ask. He's a fountain of information. He is one of the best department heads we have.
Yes, you rarely wait for him. And we know him in our neighborhood coming. Yeah, he's great. Very good. Yolanda, I don't know, Yolanda, you're muted, but do you have anything that you can add to the conversation regarding current code or possible, because you're out there and you hear things, you see things. Is there something maybe these new electeds that maybe they didn't think of, or there's something being done in other communities that obviously force these owners, these renters of business buildings to be able to do something else, another way to coerce them, because something like this would never happen on Palm Beach. Something like this wouldn't happen in, a lot of areas of the, Tequesta, Jupiter, Boca Raton. So is there something maybe that we're missing or that is new to the table, some other new laws that we're able to, or regulations we're able to possibly take advantage of?
Well, I'm just happy that the administrative order has been lifted. That was our main concern for almost a year now. So I'm happy that that has been lifted. So we've been doing a little bit more code enforcement and speaking with customers, and the majority of the customers are having financial difficulties. So we're trying to work a little bit more compassionately with them. Still, we've been red tagging. Even this weekend, I worked Saturday and Sunday this weekend as a manager, and I've been red tagging a lot of semis. It's been a lot of semi trucks parked all throughout the neighborhood. So we've been red tagging those. So we're back to red tagging. So you will be getting complaints about code, but we're trying to clean up the city. So on one hand, different ones want the city cleaned up, and on the other hand, they're saying, be compassionate with the citizens. So it's very difficult. Once I hear the commission and I hear what the mayor's desires are, then I'll know how to move forward. But right now, it's difficult with all new staff other than Commissioner Robinson. It's very difficult to decide what's important and what's top priority to the different elected officials. So I'm just waiting, which is why I wanted to be a part of this meeting, so I can see what's most important with the elected officials.
We are continuing to raise our standards.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And I'm continuing to work with you with whatever those standards are. I just need a concession on what's important and what you want me to look at first. What's priority?
Yeah. And I should say that Yolanda did reach out and send us an email when she heard about this meeting and asked for the Zoom info, so to be part of it. Just like Jamie's here, for instance. So, we welcome all the input, we welcome the assistance, and for our neighborhood especially to be able to work with you all and help you all out.
And it's a tough job. It's a tough job when you get a speeding ticket not to understand that the people are doing their job.
Or parking tickets.
Or parking tickets. Ryan.
Yeah, I just wanted to circle back to the downtown businesses. I was speaking to Jonah Leva from the CRA, and she said that it was one of their missions to get a downtown business committee going of some kind, but it was very difficult to get all the different landlords and owners on board to agree on anything, so they didn't want to start a committee. Is there any ideas how you would formulate a plan to get these people on board to kind of get all the collective heads together for the downtown merchants?
I haven't not met yet with Joan, which I'm planning on doing very soon. There was a downtown group years ago I was part of that, after a while we did some good work, but I guess it fell apart after a while. We don't have a Chamber of Commerce. I'm as concerned with Dixie Highway as I am with downtown. Honestly, it's a mess. It looks horrible. If that's as simple as planting some beautiful trees and making it look a little bit better, talking about the traffic flow. So, I don't want to skirt your question, Ryan, but we're going to meet and we're going to talk. That's all I can say right now. I think it depends on, the vision of downtown. I got involved, essentially made the decision to run for mayor when the L&M project that all got bought and started and all those people got evicted. And I thought that was unnecessary. And in fact, the CRA has created blight in my neighborhood. And I'm a little upset about that. So we're going to have, Joan, and we're all going to have a real heart-to-heart talk about it. Because there's a new RFP out from the CRA. When you come off the circle by the high school, the entrance to Lake Worth, they want to put up another 4-story apartment building. I don't think that's the welcome to Lake Worth that we need. So we're going to have a lot of, hard discussions with the CRA. I think we all have the same motivation to make a great place to live. I think some of us have different visions on how to do that.
And if I could just mention, the CRA, and you're well aware, and most people are, the CRA, their meetings and their transparency are the big issues.
It's a big
Nobody,
issue.
they'll say that it's on their website, that they have this, they have that, they put out the project for people to bid on. But, literally, frankly, I didn't see any of this in terms of Facebook just before the election. All of a sudden, things are coming up about the bus stop by the beach, which was done months ago. But all of a sudden, there's a big picture talking about it. And then people are complaining about it and this and that. Why they can't tell us about your exploits? Tell us the things, the successes. Tell us about what you're thinking about. They could have done this earlier. But the CRA, the big thing for them also is they meet on Tuesday nights when you guys meet.
And they should meet at this. I think I'm going to ask them to come to the city commission chambers.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was going to ask, because it can be recorded and people can come, and more people will come rather than going over to the Hatch
Or at least
building.
watch. At least watch. I've gone to a couple of CRA
Or on
meetings.
Zoom.
The time
Yes.
that I went, I mean, they're in a circle talking to each other. So we're on the outside of the circle, so you can't really tell what they're talking about. That's a very important thing for me, Marshall.
And it's also getting the agenda up sooner, so people know well enough, like the city commission, it's at least a week, right? 7 days, I believe, is the requirement. So they don't even have that. But I don't know if you have the power. Well, do you have the power? Does the commission have the power to make the CRA meet on another night?
Well, I don't know. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna suggest it certainly. And what was I gonna say?
Quarterly reports.
Well, at least, I mean, what's going on? I think we have to have a big workshop on the vision of the CRA, and I am not against development. I have no problem I mean, some of you that have been around for 20 years or more remember that I tried to get a big development on the Intracoastal. People acted like I was trying to put a nuclear waste dump site. Had it been approved, it would have probably solved the financial problems of the city. Long water under the bridge, literally. So I'm not anti-development at all. I just think that, let's talk about where it's going and how it's being done.
And if the public just knows about what they're doing before all of a sudden, oh, by the way, this just got approved past Tuesday.
I'm in touch with an attorney who's a supernova land use Florida thing. And I talked to him yesterday about things that we can initiate to make it more open and make the requirements for public notices a little more stringent, because it's the city does the absolute minimum. When you get a letter from the code enforcement department, and I talked to Yolanda knows this, for years and years, I've been, when you get a letter, number one, you're getting a registered letter from the code enforcement people, okay? And it's a single space letter. And it's like, blah, 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 blah. And in there was, there's a meeting on February 28th at 9 o'clock. Now they bold it, or they all cap it. I mean, it took me a long time to, it's gotta look better. It's gotta be easier to read. And that's a simple fix that doesn't cost a dime.
It's extremely threatening. That's where the majority of our phone calls come from, because it is extremely threatening. And when I get the phone call, they're under the impression that we're going to foreclose on their property, and I have to explain the process to the customer to let them know that is not our intent. So I'm available to, and I'm willing to change the face of that letter. So I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah, no, there's, again, Yolanda, I mean, you and I, how long do we go back, Yolanda?
Yeah.
And you know that I do code enforcement work, and I've, we've had our issues.
Yeah.
It's okay, we can have our issues. Sometimes I think, especially with reductions, sometimes that's a little uneven. But and those who were here when I was the city attorney might remember that I was extremely aggressive in code enforcement. And I don't know if the law has changed now, but I mean, crack was a big deal in the early 90s, and I closed down more crack houses, and they had to put a 5x7 or 8x10 sign, wooden sign in front of their house that this building was closed because of drug activity by the city of Lake Worth. If anybody ever remembers the hotel just on Federal Highway, just south of Lucerne, the Kenwood. Anybody here remember the Kenwood Hotel? Okay, Herman, Greg, right? And years ago, it was a single resident hotel. And essentially old widowers from Brooklyn would come and they'd spend the season. They had a cafeteria, they had a little room, they sat out front and smoked cigars. We all thought it was a joke. You're all gonna end up at the Kenwood Hotel. Well, when I was city attorney, the Kenwood it was 42 or 46 rooms, and it had become a dumping ground for GCF. I went in there. I mean, if you think there's some characters downtown now, honey, you ain't seen nothing. I mean, these were certifiable, very seriously met. They had no place to put them. I went in there one day with code and fire and police and Channel 5, and we looked around, and it was, let's not talk about it. There were holes in the wall, okay? I begged the building department, because you could see holes in the wall, rain was getting in. And then a very nefarious landlord got his hands on it. Joe DeMauro, if anybody remembers Joe DeMauro. Greg, I see you nodding, Herman, right? We're the old folks, we're the Altenkacker, right? He got his hands on that. And I went down to Dana Ives and like, Dana, please just put in the notice to demolish. I will defend it. I will do everything I need to get that thing down, because it had outlived its, it was a disaster. And they finally did it, and we had an 11-hour hearing. I ran it. I was the in-house city attorney, so I did all that. We had an 11-hour hearing. Dennis Kaler was his Joe DeMaro's lawyer, and we had a wonderful contractor in the city who went in there and did a full-on, as you know, assessment of the building. You know, testified that it was you couldn't save it, and we tore it down. And that was
Herman. You had your hand up.
Well, the conversation tonight has been fantastic, and I just
Glad you like it. Come back.
I'm not going away.
Try the veal.
I'm ready to go to work with the mayor and the new commission and attack some of these things that have really been kicked down the road. Enough said.
Yeah, I mean, look, these are hard things. Nobody's going to be happy. I mean, you know, you can please some of the people some of the time, and other people somebody, but you can't please everywhere. You know, Greg. And listen, I'm also a mediator. Okay, I'm a litigator, and I also mediate. And there's a rule in mediation that if somebody walks out of that mediation feeling like they won, that's a bad mediation.
And communication is key.
Everybody's got to give a little, and everybody's got to get a little. So, I mean, there's a big, you know, the pool thing. I am firmly committed to a pool at the beach. I understand some people think that it should be west of the town, and I disagree with that. I don't think the bridge is a wall. I think it's just as easy for a kid to get from Vernon Heights to the beach as it is to get from Vernon Heights to the Osborne Center. It's closer, actually. There's a bus service. If we had a pool complex going, couldn't we write again? I was just going to say, somebody in the past said you should get a small gauge railroad downtown Lake Worth. I'm like, so we cannot forget the basics. You can't play and have fun and improve these things that we're talking about unless you're running the city the way it needs to be run. And so a lot of us have a lot of learning to do. I have a little bit of a head start just because of the background. Things are coming up on the agenda, you know, continuations of contracts, and yeah, I read contracts. That's something that's I'm familiar with. So I'm good at some things. I'm not so good at other things. And I'm going to count on my fellow commissioners to help me out where I need help. And the budget's going to be a big one. I know. I'm going to have to really learn about it.
Well, if I may, Madam Mayor, you might want to approach the businesses in town, and each of them gives, say, $20 a month, and that, you know, enough to help with a trolley, subsidize something like that, because it'll only get people, even our people that live here in town that can't get around, but
when
to get
we
them
had
to
the
some
trolley,
of these businesses.
when the old Publix was open, that was, do you know that was the Publix that used to be out west of town? That was the highest grossing Publix in Publix land. That was the highest grossing Publix in all of Publix land. And the trolley, for those of you who remember, people used it so much, they put a big cooler on the trolley with ice in it. So that if you bought ice cream at Publix and then you took the trolley, you could buy cold stuff. Those are the little things that make a community work. And they don't cost a thing. Greg, you're smiling. You've been very quiet.
Greg, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I can't get a word in with Marshall, you know.
Well, yes, you know, I could leave. It's okay. I could go.
No. Now, you guys, you know, obviously, we're part of the group that you referred to as city junkies or whatever we are. We just can't get enough of what's going on. There's something about this small little town that I have never experienced in anywhere else. And I've lived a lot of places. I've always had a home in Palm Beach County, but I've lived in other places. I've lived in Atlanta, Los Angeles, and what have you, Orlando. I don't know if it's like a virus or a fungus or whatever.
It's a total virus. It is.
It gets in your system.
Yep.
When my brother moved here from Manalapan,
right?
Same thing. After he was here about a year, I couldn't talk him into meeting me for dinner outside of the 33460 zip code. It was horrible. But and now that I've experienced it, I know exactly what what his reasoning was or what have you. But if everybody would pay their civic rent and do just a little bit,
right?
This city could be even better. I don't look at my volunteerism as something you do just to pad your resume or whatever. I do it because I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it, and I think that if more people got involved, they probably have that same reaction or result. So I'm still the biggest cheerleader Lake Worth has. I'm gonna be there anytime you guys need me for anything. I've got the battle scars to prove that I've been down the road and around the block. So,
no doubt.
And by the way, just so that everybody knows, I also believe that that our mayor has the best landlord in the world.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I've been in that building 22 years.
I know.
I have the corner office.
I know. I see the light burning a lot of times late at night.
Yeah. No, the McConaughey's are fabulous.
One of the things I might suggest, if I can, is they used to have the ambassador program. Oh, sorry.
There's Marshall talking.
They used to have an
ambassador
program. Is it possible to bring that back?
I don't know. I mean, what is that?
Well, my phone was glitching. Am I talking over somebody? I'm sorry.
Well, Greg was talking.
Well, Marshall said, never stopped me before.
Oh, my computer's been hiccuping for the last minute. I'm sorry. No, I was going to suggest if we can bring back, there used to be an ambassador program before I used to get involved in so much in the town, because people would joke to me, it's like, you're like the ambassador here. So did you know that they used to do that? And why don't they do that anymore? And I never got that answer. Maybe that's something we can bring back.
There's a lot of things we need to bring back. We need to bring back the Municipal Institute.
The Academy.
No, it was the Municipal Institute. Now they're calling it something else. And it was that's how I met Erica Whitfield. That's how I met a lot of people. Yeah. And then we did the CERT. We had the CERT training where we got our little plastic hard hats in our backpacks, and we were certified in case of a hurricane. This was right after the big hurricanes of 2005 and 7. We were certified we learned how to mark the buildings and go into buildings. I mean, it was a really serious thing, and it was wonderful. And now with the technology that we have, whatever we do for the Municipal Institute or Academy, whatever you want to call it, can be recorded and put on YouTube. So everybody can hear Jamie talk about his department or Yolanda talk about her department and learn, again, everything in life is based upon relationships. If I know somebody, hey, I can call, there's somebody's got some expertise. Oh, let me call that person, because you build a relationship with that person. And I think that we have an opportunity here with a lot of the things, a lot of the outreach, with all the, a lot of new people. There's a lot of people out knocking on doors that never did that before, that we have an opportunity to keep that enthusiasm going. And Greg, this is, we're all here for a specific reason. I don't consider myself, I don't live in Florida. I live in Lake Worth. That's, and my grandmother moved here in 1965 at 202 South East Street. And I visited her in 1967 when I was a mere child. And this has been my home. I love it. I've lived in a lot of places too. And I love to go back and visit them, but this is my home. I've been in the same house for 32 years. Humble.
You and Warren Buffett.
What?
I said you and Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, in the same house for 38 years or some unbelievable number. Yeah.
On different scales, though. We're on different scales, but the idea is the same. The
but
idea
it's-
is the
Get your
same.
hand
But
up.
it's still a place that's way too cold for me.
Oh, God, yeah. No. I'm very happy here. And I'm really grateful. I mean, a lot of people worked on this, and I know that, politics are hard and all that, but I'm very grateful for the chance that we've all been given. I mean, it was a hard fought battle, and there's a lot of people that aren't happy the way it turned out. And I hope that, give us a chance, let us work. There's been a lot of things said about me that are not actually true. I am not an anarchist. I love the city and I want to move it forward. And however we can do that, I'm here to help. So.
Well, we're here to help you guys. We're here to
Yeah.
help you guys. Let's
Nice.
face it.
And we hope this
as the old
meeting is,
saying, a rising tide lifts all vessels or whatever.
Absolutely.
We all need to roll our sleeves up. We got heavy lifting to do yet.
Yep.
But,
Oh, no, there's a lot of work to do.
and
Yes,
this is also why we wanted to have you here. It
Mhm.
just worked out for the timing. It was perfect that we got have the first get to have you honor us with your presence,
Well,
along with
and-
our electeds, of course.
Right.
But we hope that we gave you a great outlet to get a lot of conversation going with, as you saw tonight, it was a great cross section of a lot of folks in and outside of our neighborhood.
Yeah.
So
Well, the more I
Sarah's
can
our-
talk, I can chat it all day.
Well, Sarah, I'll tell you, Sarah's our guest next month, and Herman's here. So we already, in that same email I put out for tonight, the clerk puts one out for next month also.
Okay.
So we invite all the electeds back, and especially for you, because now you'll have a month down the road, that if you'd like to add in or let us know, give us some other perspective, because Herman always gives us some wonderful updates of things going on. But you're going to have a whole different perspective being new and how things are flowing and changing. So I think that could be a nice thing to do as well. And again, we can record that, put that up with the NAPC for all the neighbors to share. And, if people can't make your commission meeting, then certainly get a nice conversation going.
Yeah, you just want. Hey, Tom, I have a question for you, Tom Johnson. Are you part of the sailing club?
No, that's Ted Johnson.
Ted Johnson, different Johnson, and Ted.
Ted's a lot taller.
Ted Johnson.
With glasses. Yeah, that's Ted Johnson.
Okay, I need to talk to him about the boats.
He's the Commodore.
Right.
Tom, on
But I'm-
Facebook because of the photography albums he does. He's
Yeah,
always
I'm
on
sure.
about.
I'm sure Tom's got plenty of pictures of.
I
Ted.
was gonna say, right.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
that's true. He's got good pictures there.
Marshall, I want to congratulate you for inviting the new mayor to Bryant Park's meeting tonight. Apparently, we've gone longer than a lot of our commission
I am
meetings.
such a tired old lady.
Thank you, Commissioner or Mayor Resch, for joining us tonight, and really looking forward to.
Me too. Very exciting.
Working
Very
together
exciting.
with the whole new commission.
Yep.
Fantastic. Thank you.
And you all know our email addresses, and we
And I
gotta
know
get.
Marshall can go on all night if you allow him. So.
Yeah, I met Marshall.
It's always my fault. It's always my fault.
Hey, Marshall, like I say, Marshall, a meeting should end on the same day it begins.
Well, we're gonna try that in just a moment. I'm just gonna ask if anybody has any other further questions, comments, thoughts for the mayor or anybody. Nothing else? In that case, on behalf of Bryant Park Neighborhood, and I'll do it for the NAPC, Madam Mayor and Commissioners, we wish you years of success and only the best that comes your way, and let us know what we can do and how to help.
Okay, thank you very much. This is a great group, and I will join back up. I let it go last time.
Thank you.
We
Love
know where you
Lakewood.
live.
Yeah, you do. I know. It's like there's no privacy anymore. My husband, who I made the deal with, honey, I'm gonna run for mayor, but you don't have to do a thing, because if anybody that knows Lou knows he's got his set that he loves to do. But he's out there now at Publix. Hey, your wife, Mr. Resch.
First dude.
The first dude, but he makes my life possible because he takes care of everything that is home. It's wonderful.
And the challenge is to stump him on a sports question.
You can't. That's a challenge. You can't. He's a bit of a degenerate. but that's a good thing to be a degenerate with. It doesn't involve money. It's just his interest. But if you asked him who hit a home run on May 14th in Yankee Stadium, he would know.
Well,
Thank you all
for
very much, everybody. Have a great night. I'm going to take
You
off.
too.
Thank
get
you,
undressed.
Mayor.
Thank you very much. We love Lake Worth. We're all in it for this. Thank you.
Yay.
Mayor. Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Good night,
Good night,
Marshall.
all. See you next month.